Welcome, I'm Rhoda, the founder and owner of Designer Room, Ireland's sustainable fashion marketplace where we rent, buy and sell pre-loved designer items. I'm excited to give you tips and tricks on how you can refresh your wardrobe without having to buy anything new as part of the Hubspot celebration of Global Cleanup Week. Global Cleanup Week is an annual global social action programme aimed at combating waste, and the small steps we take all add up. So this week, we'll focus on building new shopping habits to reduce the fashion waste we produce in the first place. Did you know we only wear 20 to 30% of our wardrobe 80% of the time? Why is this? Mainly, it's because of fast fashion. Fast fashion is ultimately cheap clothing produced quickly and sold by large mass market retailers in order to respond to the latest fashion trends. The term fast fashion came about at the beginning of the 1990s when Zara landed in New York. It was best described by the New York Times as a company who had a mission to take only 15 days from a garment to go from design stage to being sold in store. Our fashion habits are turning us into a much more disposable culture because we are consuming way too much at the moment, and therefore our wardrobes are getting so cluttered. And yet, when we look inside, we have nothing to wear. Why is this? We would normally have 2 seasons of clothing, spring, summer and autumn, winter. Fast fashion retailers have now made that to be around 52 seasons. We own 4 times the amount of clothing, with the average item of clothing only worn 6 times. What we own already is out of style as something new has already come out. Some brands produce new products multiple times in 1 week just to be on trend. Fast fashion, while though cheap, comes at a very high price. According to the UN Environment Programme, the fashion industry is the second biggest consumer of water and is responsible for 8 to 10% of global carbon emissions. Fast fashion are producing each year 100 billion items of clothing. There's 67 million people employed in the industry. There's over 250,000 garment factories, mainly based in China, Bangladesh and India. The industry is worth around $3 trillion. But let's have a look at who makes our clothes. And are they getting treated fairly? 80% of apparel is made by young women aged between 18 and 24. And with rapid production means that the sales and profits superset human welfare. Source from Fashion Checker reveals that 90% of brands are not paying their garment workers a living wage. There are over 168 million children in the world that are forced to work. Because the fashion industry requires low-skilled labour, child labour is particularly common in this industry. In 2013, an 8-floor factory building that housed several garment workers collapsed because of the working conditions in Bangladesh, killing 1,134 workers and injuring 2,500 people. It was the deadliest garment industry accident in modern history. The impact the fast fashion industry has on our water. Textile dyeing is the world's second largest polluter of water, since the leftover from the dyeing process is often dumped into ditches, streams or rivers. Did you know that washing clothes releases 500 tons of microfibers into the ocean each year? That's the equivalent of 50 billion plastic bottles. Why is this? 60% of our clothing is made of polyester. Polyester is made of plastic which is non-biodegradable. So where does our clothes end up when we dispose of them? Only 13% of them get recycled, and over 80% of all textiles go to dump or the landfill each year. Imagine that is 1 garbage truck of clothes being burnt or sent to landfill every second. And when it decomposes, which can take over 200 years, it emits a methane, which is a greenhouse gas more potent than carbon. How can you make a little change and save our clothing from landfill? We hold the power to make the change and take back control. Buy less. Buy for long term rather than short term. Quality before quantity. Think before we buy. Consider pre-loved. Upcycle what we have. Swap with your friends and family and rent if you can. Invest in pieces you will love to wear again and again. Know that you have the power to make the change to help our planet. One great idea here is to try the 1 item a month challenge. So rather than having a huge shopping spree a year or regular shopping habits a month, calculate what you would spend in a year on fashion. Divide this by 12 and this will be your budget to buy only 1 really nice item a month. This is a much better thought out decision, and as a result you will be left with a far more stylish wardrobe, one that you will love to wear. We'd love to learn for what your monthly clothing budget is. Please do share it with the Eco at Hubspot community in the poll below this video by adding an anonymous vote. Thank you for your time.